Hello and good evening everybody, welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. It's lovely to see all of you beautiful teacups in the chat. This evening, you might have noticed from the very recent thumbnail that I've added to the video, we are going to be speaking about the FA, we're going to be speaking about Harry Maguire, we're going to be speaking about a whole heap of absolute codswallop and nonsense. I am going to do my absolute best to get through this entire stream without swearing. However, I cannot promise because the whole thing's a complete farce. I think they're absolutely ridiculous from the top down. Absolutely 100% ridiculous from the top down. But we will get into that in just a moment. We did have the very lovely Paige in the chat with us earlier after I set up the stream. She will not be joining us for the live. She's off to spend some time with her aunties, but she has told us all to have a very lovely evening and to make sure that everybody hits the like and subscribe button and also to share it on your social medias. So even though she's off to spend some time with family, Paige is thinking of the greater good. So big up to Paige. I did see we have our very lovely Shem in the house also. Of course, Rob Always United is here. Who else have we got? Guess is in the house. Mama Flossie has a Teacup Castle announcement. 595 teacups, guys. We are this close to having 600 teacups at our tea party. So if you're here, if you're just listening, if you're watching afterwards, not on the live, if you've been a bit iffy, you're not sure, smash that subscribe button. Help us get to 600. We are so close. Big up to everybody who's got involved so far. It is so recent. We've only just hit 500 and all of a sudden it's nearly 600. So the teacup party is growing. The Mad Hatter's tea party is well underway and everybody is enjoying themselves. Do get stuck in for that. I have seen that we do also have the very lovely Sam in the house with us who says, Lou and Legends, hope you're all good. My back's gone, so I'm sat on my butt doing nothing. Sam, I hope you're okay. You lot are all injuring yourselves. What are you all doing? Every time I talk to you, somebody new has been injured. I'm not sure if any of you should be allowed outside without bubble wrap around you at this point. Everybody's getting hurt, so do mind yourself. Enjoy doing a little bit of nothing. Sometimes it's deserved. And JT says, is it the Maguire thing? I've stuck a big picture of Harry Maguire on the thumbnail, so it'd be a little bit odd if it wasn't. It would be a little bit odd if it wasn't. Yes, it is the Harry Maguire thing, as you put it. Let me see. Right, everybody's saying hi. All of the teacups are in the house. Please do smash the like button, people, as you come in, and let everybody know that you're having a good time and that they should join in for the fun of it. Right at the end of the video, before I end, obviously I'm very aware that there's Champions League tonight. I will be watching it. There will be post-match reaction on a live show. I will go through the lineups just before we finish the live. However, first of all, yes, we are going to talk about the Harry Maguire thing because it's absolutely scandalous. It is scandalous. They should be ashamed of themselves. Their egos are out of control. There is nothing independent about it whatsoever. It's a complete and utter pile of doggy doo-doo. It's nonsense. Real nonsense. Complete and utter. I can't express it properly on YouTube because I must not curse. I am live in the Teacup Castle house and I must not curse. So I'm going to do my best, but it's completely and utterly ridiculous. And let's just start. Let's just start with the information and then as we go, we'll flesh it out a little bit. So, Fabrizio Romano came out earlier and said Harry Maguire has been handed a one-match suspension and a £30,000 fine. Maguire will miss Manchester United's next match against Chelsea on Saturday. Yes, you are correct. Today is Wednesday and we have only found out today that he can't play on Saturday. That is, in fact, 3 days' notice. This incident happened before. This happened when United played Bournemouth. This happened more than 24 days ago because we didn't play for 24 days and then we did play and it's been a few days since we did play. So they have not told us for a month. It took them nearly a month to tell us he's not going to be able to play in 3 days' time. absolutely ridiculous, and I find the timing of it incredible. So for a month they couldn't decide. For days and days and days and days they weren't really sure, they hadn't decided, it was unclear, blah 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 blah. All of a sudden Manchester United appeal Lisandro Martinez's red card, and then just incredibly they suddenly came to a decision about the Harry Maguire thing, and they were going to uphold the ban. But they only came to that decision after Manchester United questioned them about the Lisandro Martinez incident. It's a wee bit crazy, the timing of that. Sam is saying FA should stand for a different meaning. I can't put what I'm thinking as it's not very nice. Sam says, no matter of a club tribalism, we have to call this out. The same with the PGMOL and the refs. And I agree with that, Sam, because it's not just about Manchester United. Obviously this is, but it's not just about Manchester United. This is happening every team across the league over and over and over and over and over again. And the only thing that ever wins is the ego of the referees. It's the only thing that wins. It doesn't matter what your club is. It doesn't matter what your loyalty is. As Sam says, your tribalism. The fact is, this is ridiculous. It's incompetent. And it's all about ego. I said the other day on MHF, when I was talking to the lads, I said people are more concerned about proving their own point, about making sure that they themselves appear to be correct, than they are about actually getting to the fact of the matter. I was talking about YouTubers. I was talking about content creators. However, it very much applies to the PGMOL. Very much so. They're more concerned with closing ranks and saying, no, we got it right, and protecting themselves and their ego than actually getting to the right decision. But this was also, so I'm just going to go through all the different reports and then we will flash it out. Simon Stone says, the FA written reason essentially confirm the fourth official heard Maguire swear and the context meant he felt it was at the match officials. Maguire denied this, said he swore because he was frustrated. Given this was just after the Amad Diallo non-penalty, I mean, it's not hard to believe he was frustrated, is it? So, the commission sided with the fourth official. Shock. I bet everybody's shocked. The commission, the independent commission, sided with the referees. Blow me over. They said they would have asked for a 2-match ban, but due to mitigating circumstances, including Maguire's character, it meant they settled on 1. Well, whoop-de-doo. They gave him a 1-match ban for something they don't even know happened. So let's get into more details of what Simon Stone is talking about there. If you read the report for the Maguire thing, the fourth official admitted that he misheard Harry Maguire. So, obviously, the charges put forward. Harry Maguire then had 2 days to respond to that, and they then took a month to come back with a result. But Harry Maguire had 2 days to respond, okay? And then the response goes back to the person who makes the complaint, and then the FA makes their decision. That's how it works. Big up to Luke in the house. Nice to see you, my dear. But Harry Maguire said he wasn't cursing. He wasn't cursing at the referee. He was frustrated with the situation. It wasn't aimed at the official. The reason that that's important is because what he is being punished for is abuse of a match official. So if it wasn't aimed at the official, it's not abuse of an official. This said official already admitted that he misheard part of his complaint. But they've decided to believe him anyway. So the FA emailed the match official, the fourth official, to provide him with details of Harry Maguire's submission, which was his answer to the charge he was facing, in an email on the 7th of April. So, in response to the words recorded in my report, in respect of the first line, you're a joke, there is a possibility that the words were either misheard or misrecollected. So there was only 2 sentences, And here he is, the fourth official, the guy who made the complaint, admitting that he might have misheard or misremembered what was said. He then goes on to say, whilst I think Mr. Maguire said you're a joke, I wouldn't be able to respond to this with certainty. So he's not sure. But, however, the second sentence, which says you're all a fucking joke, I do remember hearing, with clarity, and remember thinking that the comment was aimed collectively at the group of officials. I would be prepared to say with certainty that these words were said. So there was only two sentences. He's really unsure about the first one. He might have misheard him. He might have misremembered, but he's 100% certain on the second sentence. The same person, in the same incident, at the same time. Can't remember the first sentence with certainty, but can definitely 100% remember the second sentence. He not only might he not be remembering properly, he admits he might have misheard it. If you couldn't hear the first sentence properly, how do you know you heard the second sentence properly? So Harry Maguire is absolutely 100% certain, categorically, that he did not aim any abuse at the match official. The match official isn't quite certain, but he is. And this independent commission have decided that out of those two, the one that's more reliable is the one who might have misheard or misrecollected. He's clearly the more reliable person. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because this is a farce. They're punishing him for something that literally might not have happened by admission of the person who made the complaint. Genuinely baffling. Genuinely, absolutely mind-boggling, baffling. The person who admitted they might not be sure is the person they've chosen to believe over the person who absolutely 100% is sure. That doesn't make sense. That is crazy. Sam, yes, isn't it convenient? Just a bit bloody convenient. What Maguire says in his response, so the kind of more on what Maguire said, he said it wasn't aimed at the referees. I didn't say you are all a joke. He said something along the lines of, it's an effing joke. And he was certain. He used the word certain. He did not call any match official a joke. So, his teammate had just not been awarded a penalty, which should have been awarded. Don't even get me started. We're going to look at that. It should have been a penalty. Minutes later, you go to the other end. Maguire himself gets a red card for DOGSO for contact that was less than what the penalty wasn't awarded for. He then, in the heat of the moment, is a bit angry. And you know yourself, you mutter under your breath. It wasn't aimed at a match official. He's certain and the match official isn't. Therefore, you have to take Harry's word because he's sure. The other guy isn't. But they've decided to punish him anyway. I cannot express how ridiculously incompetent that is. That is insane. But anyway, take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. I find this so frustrating, right? And you know what it is? As a lot of you know, I worked in HR. I worked in HR for many years. I wrote contracts. I completed disciplinary procedures. I carried out investigations as the investigating officer on misconduct. This was literally my job. Not in terms of football. It wasn't a football club or business or anything. But my literal job was to conduct independent investigations into disciplinary matters. I cannot explain to you how unprofessional and incompetent this is for any investigating body to do. I cannot put it into words how nonsensical it is to believe the person and rely on the person that isn't sure. It flies in the face of all logic. It's incredible. Many of you will remember that after Rodri accused the match officials of being biased and that they didn't want City to win because they'd already won too many times, and then Bernardo Silva made similar comments but a little bit more subtle, and Pep Guardiola also made similar comments but a little bit more subtle. But Rodri was kind of the big, bold one. And he was fined. He wasn't banned. And the reason was because the panel unanimously agreed he hadn't met the threshold for a sporting sanction, because what he had done wasn't sporting, what he had done was words. Okay? So, Rodri using his words didn't require a sporting sanction. It was unanimously agreed by this same panel that has decided that Harry Maguire's words do deserve a sporting sanction. Now, when I did my video on Rodri, I was incredibly fair. I went through all of the instances where players had said things like that about the referees and what punishments they'd received. And in multiple scenarios, they'd either received no punishment or a fine only with no bans. And so at the end of that, I said, well, that's fair, because if no other player has received a ban for this, why should Rodri? Therefore, it's proportionate, it's fair, it's consistent. But now when it's a Manchester United player, despite Rodri and all of the previous players who have questioned the impartiality of the referee not getting a ban, Harry Maguire is getting a ban. So that's not consistent. That's not fair. That's not how they've treated this situation in any prior instance. So it's not that I suddenly think Rodri's punishment was unfair. It's that I think, given that Rodri's punishment was considered the norm, Harry Maguire's punishment is unfair and should be in line with all the other players who have done this kind of thing. I would also say that what Maguire said was in the heat of the moment, right when everything was happening, and if the referees hadn't publicised it, nobody really would have noticed, to be honest with you. Rodri's statements were not in the heat of the moment because they were after the match. They were thought through after a question was asked to him, and it was done where the whole world was going to see it because it was being broadcast. I would consider what Rodri done worse. So the fact that Harry Maguire's punishment is more severe for something that would be considered not as bad, because surely questioning the impartiality of the referee, which is essentially what the whole organisation is founded on, impartiality and being unbiased, surely would be more serious than someone, maybe not, nobody can remember, cursing. Surely that's worse. Surely that's not quite proportionate. JT says, really, I thought I remembered at least one, but fair play. JT, I did an entire video on it, probably before you started being a regular, to be fair. But if you go back, let me see, because I might be able to link it in the description. Give me just one sec, because it was actually a really good video, because I went into it expecting to think that Rodri had got away with one and he hadn't, and we went through it together, and actually it turned out that his punishment was more or less in line with all the punishments others had received. But let me see, because it won't be too far back, so I'll be able to find it. Oh, there's Phil Foden. God, that's so long ago we did that Phil Foden video already. The time is flying. I see Ferris is in the house saying, couldn't United appeal on the grounds that the evidence doesn't meet the required standard to establish the charge beyond a reasonable doubt? I would imagine they could. However, the people that review it are the same people that have made this decision. So they police their own decision. It doesn't go to like somebody else, as I understand. It goes to like the same people. I've actually got this, so get the link. This is the one, and then let me go to the description of this video, because if I don't do it while we're talking, guys, I will forget, because a match will be on. I'll run for the match and then I will just absolutely forget. So let me Rodri punishment video. There we are, save. So when you go to the description of this video now, there's obviously a paragraph explaining what this video right now is about, but underneath that paragraph, you'll be able to see the link for that video, JT, because it was actually really good. I go through it in detail, each player, what was said exactly, what punishment they received. So it's a really good kind of comparison, because it actually came to an outcome I didn't expect. And that's what I mean. I want to be very clear. I'm not complaining about the punishment that Rodri got. I'm complaining that the punishment that Harry Maguire has gotten is not in line with the punishment that was given to another player. That's my problem with it, to be honest with you. Big up, yes, to Ferris. Ferris was straight in with the chat, but yes, big up to Ferris for being here. Sam says Maguire should appeal about and point out these facts in his appeal. And the thing is, guys, like, we're talking about appeals, but obviously we have, we, Manchester United, have appealed the hair pull for Lisandro Martinez, which most people seem to universally agree actually doesn't meet the criteria for violent conduct. And then supposedly, even though, because we talked about the IFAB rules, and remember I told you I went and read them, hair pulling is not specifically listed, but at the start of this season, the PGMOL gave directive to all the clubs to say that hair pulling with force would be considered a straight red card, and so that's why they're saying that, you know, they think they did the right thing. Except Lisandro Martinez clearly did not pull the hair with force. I don't think he pulled the hair at all, but he certainly didn't pull the hair with force. Yet here we have Larry Whitwell. Manchester United are appealing Lisandro Martinez's red card, but since it is unlikely to be overturned. And here's the problem. When the people that are reviewing the decision are the people that made the decision in the first place, how are you ever going to get a proper appeal? Whoever is the investigating body, whoever hands down the punishment, should not be the appeal body. You can't be judge, jury and executioner. You can't. How can you possibly be unbiased about your own decision? It's insane to expect that. It should go to somebody completely different, any appeals. So I agree, he should appeal it, we should appeal it, but I don't think it gets us anywhere. I don't think it gets us anywhere at all. And as far as I'm concerned, this decision was only put out after we appealed Lisandro Martinez's card. I don't think that's unlinked. So if we appeal it, what happens next? And I'm pretty sure Michael Oliver is the referee for us and Chelsea. So you can only imagine what's going to happen in that match. Probably another red card for nonsense. Yes, Sam, I agree. The Rodri, the past punishments, it's a complete joke. It's a complete joke. Yes, but UEFA would be different. UEFA would be different, JT, because it's not the FA that review that. So I only looked at FA. Because there's no point in saying, well, UEFA give a ban for that, because it's not the same body, it's not the same decision makers. So your point is true, but it doesn't apply, if you get what I mean. Sam says, I've always said it should be separate. Also, the refs and VAR should be separate to each other. Agree. Completely agree. Rob is saying, so it's fine to stamp on Dorgu's leg, but not to touch someone's hair. Exactly. Essentially, that's what they've decided. Yes, basically, is their answer to that. The thing is, say we take what Rodri said out of it. Say if we say, right, they're talking about kind of aggressive behaviour and language on the pitch, that's specifically what they're talking about. Let's take a different example that's not Rodri, of aggressive, abusive language on the pitch aimed at a match official. Let's look at that, okay? Because that's comparable, isn't it? It's the same thing that they're saying. They said Harry Maguire was abusive in his language towards a match official, even though the match official can't remember and isn't sure and can't give any certainty. So let's take a look at one that does have absolute certainty, to the point where they've blurred out his mouth because everybody could see he was cursing at the match official. Let's look at that. So this is Erling Haaland. This is Erling Haaland. No ban, no suspension. So the FA looked into this. He was shouting and confronting the referee, the main official on the pitch. He later on his social media, and we know they look at social media because what happened to Cavani. So they act on things that happen on social media, so that doesn't count either. That one's not going to fly. We've been punished for that too. The FA looked into it. The same panel, by the way, guys, the same panel looked into it, but he escaped with no ban and no suspension. I know the whole picture's a bit blurry, but you can see, I can't play the video, they'll copyright me. There's a whole video. Do you know what? I'll put the video in the chat for yous. That's the video, so you guys will be able to see it. It's just I can't play it because copyright. But they've blurred his mouth out on the TV because he was swearing, okay? Here's another view. Here's another view of him non-aggressively not confronting the not match official. No ban. He told him to F off twice while walking away and then posted WTF on his social media afterwards. No punishment. They reviewed it and decided no punishment. So it wasn't even that they didn't know it was said, they weren't sure. They reviewed it and came to a decision this shouldn't have a punishment. But Harry Maguire should. Look at his face. And fair enough, the heat of the moment, we do silly things, it's a situation, blah, 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 blah. All of those things count for Harry Maguire. This is ridiculous. So, while we see screaming Haaland shouting and effing off the referee, no ban, not a dicky bird. But Harry Maguire, ban. Yes, mind-boggling, Ferris. Thank you. That's an excellent word for it. It is absolutely, incredibly mind-boggling. And just to be clear, this is not about Manchester City. It's not about Manchester City. I couldn't care less. My point is that they're not being treated the same. The players are not being treated the same. The exact same situation, except this one is certain and Harry Maguire's one isn't. But apparently, Harry Maguire's uncertain one deserves a ban, and this very conclusive, clear, obvious one, they decided no ban. It's fine. Really and truly, it boggles my mind. It is not about Manchester City. It is about the ridiculousness of how they make these decisions because they're wrong. One of these decisions is wrong. Both of them a ban or neither of them a ban. I still think the Haaland one is more extreme, but fair enough. It's all or nothing, both or neither. But that this one didn't and the Harry Maguire's one did is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Let me see. Sorry guys, I'm ranting. I'm so ranting. I'm so mad. Like you can see, this isn't sunburn. I'm just absolutely furious. I'm so mad. I'm really genuinely, absolutely furious. I'm furious at them from a fan point of view. It's my club. And I feel like they're mistreating us and I'm furious. I also don't think, to be fair, right? See if that was Bruno or if it was Cunha or if it was some of our other players, I'd go, do you know what? If it was Martinez, I'd probably go, do you know what? They probably did say it. They probably did do it. Harry Maguire, I'll be honest, it's not his vibe. Like, it's really not his vibe. Yeah. Right, let me read your chats because I'm just fighting with myself here. Yous are all chatting away and I'm having a row with myself. Right. JT says, oh yeah, that's why you were misremembered. No, that's totally fine. It's not you, JT. I'm just full flow today. Flossie says it's because he's such a handsome lad. Oh, Flossie. Well, Rob says his mum thinks he is. Moonshine is in the house. Big up to Moonshine, who joined mid-rant without knowing what was going on. Fair play to you. Ferris is in the house saying, can't disagree. The FA's disciplinary system is structurally flawed. Yes, it is. There needs to be independent football regulators for this. They only exist for financial and ownership sustainability. There needs to be, like, do you guys have it in the UK? Here we have like an ombudsman. So like if somebody in a particular industry does something really wrong and there's like nobody higher than them to go to, or like they're the owner so you can't ask for their boss, you go to the ombudsman, and then the independent ombudsman, who's actually independent of the organisation, goes and investigates. That's what I think. It should be that kind of a system, completely separate, not in any way related. So yeah, I completely agree, Ferris. It's an absolute mess. What else have we got? Yeah, absolutely mind-boggling. I just think that's the phrase for it, Ferris. Mind-boggling. I like that one. JT says, if that would be actually conclusive, or at least beyond reasonable doubt, I could accept if they came out and said, yes, we didn't punish it before, but from now on, this is the standard we're adhering to. Do you know what, JT? I could get on board with that. I could get on board with if after this incident with Haaland, or after the incident with Rodri, where they said, look, this is our stance based on the rules as they currently stand. Now that this has happened, the update to that is it will not be tolerated at all by anybody going forward. But they didn't. So I agree. Yes, if they'd drawn a line in the sand and said, right, going forward, this is where we're at for everybody. But they didn't, and that's their problem. Yes, JT continues by saying, but they act like it was always like this, and neither was it conclusive. Exactly. Sam says, Maguire needs you, Lou, to do the appeal. I'll do the appeal if he wants. I'll go in and do his appeal. I will absolutely do his appeal for him. If Harry wants to let me know, I'll be there, and I'll bring a screenshot of this. This is all I need. Look at this. I'm just going to print a picture of this. That's it. What else would you need? Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. They'd all be on the naughty step, put it that way. Sam says it's a redhead issue. I get it, Lou. To be fair, it's more purple. Yeah, you just chat amongst yourselves while I'm ranting moonshine. Oh dear. And Rob is saying, yes, everybody, please like and subscribe. Guys, thank you so much for listening to that, because I really needed to get that off my chest. I have been furious since this came out earlier on. I've been counting down the minutes to the stream. I normally post the stream kind of an hour before I go live. I think today I've put it at like 4:30 or something, because I was like, is it time? Is it time? I need to talk to the teacups about this. This is ridiculous. I was so mad. I'm still so mad. This is me calmed down. This is me several hours after I've read the news. Imagine the level of rage I felt when I just read it. I'm not over it. I'm not going to be over it. I'm absolutely 100% furious. And see this picture of Harry Maguire, which I borrowed from Fabrizio Romano for my thumbnail? This here is exactly how I feel. See Harry's face of like, you have got to be kidding me. If you've got to be kidding me was a person, it's this face. That was me earlier. So mad. Flossie saying, talking of the naughty step, where is Dave? He's probably up a scaffold somewhere, knowing him. He's almost definitely up a scaffold. That's normally where he is when we can't find him. Sam says he's still on the naughty step. Yes, Aaron. Actually, fantastic point. Don't forget, members stream tomorrow, 3 p.m, the very first members hangout at Teacup Castle on our 3 p.m. members stream. Big up to everybody who's in the chat, who takes part, who likes the video, who talks in the comments, who watches afterwards, who likes to just watch without chatting. Big up to everybody who subs and gets involved. But also, of course, a massive thank you to everybody who has opted to become a member, because it allows me to actually do this. Losing my business was obviously such a big, massive thing for me, and you're going, oh my God, what do I do? So to be able to do this, and people are generous enough to pay for super chats and pay for memberships and to be involved, I want to make sure, obviously I've done the stickers, I've done the badges and everything else, but I will be doing kind of regular enough, probably once a week, members only streams, just as a way to say thank you to the people who have gone the extra mile. So big up to everybody, but a special big up to the members. And thank you, Moonshine, for reminding me, because honestly, I have it set up and I keep clicking into that one by mistake instead of the other lives and forgetting myself. But big up to all of you guys, because you're all fan-dabby dozy, unlike the FA. Unlike the FA, they are in the bin. The FA right now are in the bin. There's no way anybody can tell me, having looked at everything I've shown you just in this video, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more. I've picked some simple recent examples. I have no doubt there are others, but it's like, there's no way somebody independent looking at all of that can say, oh yeah, that's fair, that's consistent. Because it's not. You could take somebody, right, who doesn't know anything about football, and all they have to do is just look at the scenarios and say, right, this is what happened, this was the punishment, this is what happened, this was the punishment. You don't even need to know about football, and it will become abundantly clear immediately there is inconsistency and it's bias. Whether it's unconscious, conscious, I don't know and I don't care. But there's bias. There's certainly no consistency. There's certainly no fairness and no harm. There's definitely, absolutely, in my opinion, no neutrality whatsoever. In my opinion, the difference in these decisions makes it very clear that the body is not independent. The panel is not independent. Maybe they think they are. Maybe they try to be. They're not achieving it. It's not fit for purpose. They need to change it. Kate and Jimbo. Lovely Kate is in the house. A big up to you and nice to see you, my dear. Hope you're well. Hope you are well, and I hope you're not too sore. I know you're having a bit of a flare-up recently. Yes. Big up all the lutees. Ferris. Love it. Love it. Guys, right. Okay. I've come to the end of my rant. I've got it off my chest. 36 minutes later, I feel a bit better about the whole situation. I don't, I'm still raging. But I don't feel like my head's going to explode. So shall we take a look at the lineups for the football tonight? Now that I've had my moment, let's have a little look at what's happening in the Champions League tonight. I know. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear, Kate. I just assumed you were having flare-ups. My bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sending lots of love to Kate's dad, everybody. Lots of love to Kate's dad. He's not very well at the minute. Lots of love and hugs and virtual well wishes to him, Kate. Hopefully he's on the mend sooner rather than later. Ferris, you are killing it tonight. Ferris is absolutely on fire in the comments this evening. The only thing they're independent of is common sense. Love it. Ferris is just absolutely on it this evening. Big up. Sam says, sorry to Arsenal fans, but I want Sporting to stage a comeback. I mean, to be fair, I think everybody who's not an Arsenal fan wants that. I think that's fair. Besides, none of the Arsenal fans have joined us this evening, so unless Luke is rocking around, we're okay. We're okay. Yes, everybody sending all their love in the chat. Big up. Yes, everybody wishing him a speedy recovery, as it should be. As it should be. Let me see. Right, dears, let us go to the match. Let us go to the lineups. Let us read them out loud for the class. Okay, share my screen. So obviously this is Arsenal. So Arsenal, are these confirmed? Yes, these are the confirmed lineups. So Arsenal are going to have Raya, Mosquera, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubamendi, Rice, Madueke, Eze, Martinelli, and up front, Victor Gyökeres. They will be facing a Sporting side of Silva, Araujo, Inacio, Diamande, Quaresma, Morita, Humland, Gonçalves, Trincao, Catamo, and Suarez. So, they obviously are going into the match. Arsenal really need to go through, because I think if Arsenal don't make a good go of it and go through here, I do think that's crisis stations. I think that is just them. I think that'll be them. Ah, no, Kate. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ah, I'm so sorry to hear that, Kate. It's so hard. It's so hard. But sending lots of love anyway. Lots of love anyway. And no, you're never bringing down the stream. Not in here. In here we talk about anything and everything. There's very little topics are off limits of this chat. We'll talk about everything and anything. And you know what? Sometimes there's nothing like a bit of online YouTube love. Online love. Well, I'll tell you what. It might distract, obviously it won't distract you in real life, but it might give you a little bit of a distraction if Arsenal go out this evening. So we'll all hope for that. Is your dad a Spurs fan as well, Kate? Might give him a little bit of cheer. But as it stands, Arsenal going in with a 1-0 lead with that very, very, very late added time equaliser by Kai Havertz, which I would argue probably wasn't the result that reflected the match. I thought a draw probably would have been fairer, but look, that's how football goes. Obviously Arsenal are at home, but I don't think Sporting will be put off. I think Sporting are going to come into this match thinking we could have and maybe should have beat them in the first leg. We definitely should have got at least a draw. We've we're well in the tie. One goal is nothing in football. So I think Sporting are going to give them a real good go. And I think on the night it could end up being 2-1 to Sporting. I think it might end up being a draw on aggregate. Maybe having to go to extra time and penalties. Potentially. But I might be wrong. But that's what I'm feeling. That's the vibe I've got at the minute. JT says, I'm glad to see Mosquera at right back. JT's quite good about it, to be fair. JT takes all the banter. I was going to say something else, but I was going to say you would forget JT's an Arsenal fan because he takes the banter well. I'm so sorry, JT. But yeah, I agree though, JT. I think if you lose today, you lose against City. I absolutely 100% agree with you. Oh, bless, he hates football at the minute. Well, at least you're in the same boat at the minute, Kate. At least you're in the same boat at the minute. But yes, Sam is correct and right. JT is one of the good Arsenal fans, though. We actually have a few nice ones that come into our channel. Do you know, obviously JT is our kind of regular at the moment. But we do have lovely Luke that comes in, and he's an Arsenal fan, a really, really nice Arsenal fan. Oh, big up to Kate. Oh, thank you so much, Kate. You didn't have to do that. Thank you very, very much. Kate says much love to us all and lots of kisses from Kate. Thank you so much and all the love back to you. And that's what it is. That's what this is about, isn't it? This is what it comes down to. We love the football. We love everything else. But what it comes down to is just the people. Just the people. We could come on here and not mention football for a whole stream and we would still have a lovely time. So all the love back to you and your dad, Kate. I'll actually pop me a wee texture whenever you're feeling up to it because it's very draining. It's very, very draining when all that stuff's going on. So I am here if you ever need. Reach out and let us know. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's not quite the same, but my uncle passed away. Flossie will know this. But my uncle passed away and, you know, we knew he was going to go. It was incurable, his illness. We knew he was going to go. It doesn't make it any easier when it happens. And it's hard and it's trying and it's really tiring. It's really tiring. So lots of love. Lots and lots and lots of love. JT is saying, that's a good one, no worries, I don't take it seriously too much. I think it's dumb because most fans are very similar if given similar circumstances, but I get it as banter. Yet to be fair, I think for the most part when it comes to other teams, I do a pretty reasonable job of being calm, cool, collected. I do my best when I'm on the channel not to be like way crazy sort of rage baity, you know, like toxic about other rival clubs. When it comes to United, I can't help myself. I really can't. I try. I thought I was level-headed. I'm not. I'm a hot mess. But no, JT, you take it very, very well, I have to say. And that's it. I think that's a big point. As long as someone is obviously bantering, you don't mind. It's if someone makes a serious point about it and then you're like, oh, come on. And that's it. I think a lot of times, like for me, banter is like light-hearted and jokey. When it's a bit more serious or sometimes a bit more nasty, to me, that's not banter anymore and it's not fun, and that's when I start to get irritated. So yeah, I probably agree with you there, JT. But guys, let us look at the other lineups. So Bayern Munich will be starting with Manuel Neuer, who was absolutely sensational in the first leg. Absolutely sensational. Thank you guys as well in the chat. I see Kate and Rob, thank you. But Neuer, who was just on fire in the first match. Then you've got Stanisic, Upamecano, who was the weak link, I felt. He was the weak link in the first leg. I'll be curious to see if he is better in this leg. I do apologise if you can hear the shouting coming from the other room in my house. That's what happens when the live-in IT support is home during the stream. But after Upamecano, they have Ta, Lamer, Kimmich, Pavlovic, Olise, who was also very good in the last leg, Gnabry, Diaz, and of course Harry Kane. And then for Real Madrid, they have Lunin, who I thought did give a decent account of himself in the last match. I don't think he was bad, and I think it could have been worse without him. He made some really important saves. Then they have Mendy, Rudiger, Militao, Alexander-Arnold, Diaz, Güler, Bellingham, Valverde, who I thought was good in the last match, Vinny Jr., who just absolutely annoyed my brain, and Mbappe, who I also thought had quite a good match in the last match. When you look at the players individually, you do feel like Real Madrid has so much talent, but I just thought Bayern Munich were an absolute well-oiled machine. I'm convinced they're going to win the whole thing. But as it stands, they go into this match only one goal ahead of Real Madrid. So it was 2-1 in the first leg to Bayern Munich. They are at home this evening, but they probably would have been a bit more comfortable with an extra goal cushion, which they probably should have had given how well they played in the first leg. But sometimes that is just the way the cookie crumbles. Sam says, I will always banter. I've only got like it on. Oh yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yes, JT, banter is meant to be a little bit stupid, a little bit exaggerated, a little bit of a wind up, but people are actually so stupid that they take banter seriously. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But guys, it is 4 minutes to kick off, which means I have to go get some tea, get some snacks, get both of my screens set up, but I will be back after the matches. JT is saying hoisting on the bench is a little weird, and he did start the first leg, didn't he? I was sure he started the first leg. So something to watch, to be fair, by JT. But guys, I'm going to wrap her up there. I will be back. I'll be doing live match reaction, so I will be back when the matches are over, depending on extra time, penalties, whatever, we don't know. But I will be here. I will be back, hopefully having watched 2 very good, entertaining matches of football. Big up to everybody. Lots of love to everybody. Thank you very much to Kate for this generous super chat, and obviously lots of love to Kate and her dad. Lots of love to you guys, and let us go and enjoy the football. I'll talk to you all very soon, hopefully. Oh, this is bringing you to John Hassam's watch along. So if you fancy a watch along, it's going to bring you there. Just let him know I've sent you, okay? That's it. That's really it this time, I promise for sure.